is a nightmare. Man, that's the way it seems. Life is a nightmare.
Welcome to Today in Horrible History, your daily moment of historical misfortune. For February 7th, 2022, we head back to February 7th, 1497 on the Julian calendar. On that date, a militant Catholic priest held a public burning of books, art, and other objects in an event now known as the Bonfire of the Vanities. The late 15th century was the height of the Renaissance, and what we now know as Italy was its center. Italy would not become a unified country until the 1860s. In 1497, it was still a series of rival city-states with complex relations between royals and between them and a single Western Christian church, the Catholic Church, based then as now in Rome. Florence, or Firenze in Italian, was one of the most powerful and richest of these. It was in this city in the 1490s that a Dominican friar named Girolamo Savonarola began preaching against worldly ills, including within the church, one of many sort of proto-Protestants in church history. The church thought he was getting a bit out of hand, whipping people into a frenzy, and asked him to tone it down. He refused. Savonarola claimed religious visions and revelations and was beginning to develop a cult following. There was even supposed to have been a sort of public miracle off between the priest and representatives of the main church body, but after a number of hours, neither side did much of anything until it was rained out. Rained out! I don't know, maybe someone stopped the rain. That would have been impressive. Savonarola's followers came to be known as Piagnoni, or the Weeping Ones. Shrove Tuesday, more commonly known as Mardi Gras or Fat Tuesday in the United States, is the last day before Christians make sacrifices for Lent, and they tend to live things up a bit with one last blowout carnival before the somber 90-day period. On this final day of the carnival in 1497, Savonarola encouraged people to take things a bit far. He encouraged and preached and organized a massive bonfire in which people were to destroy anything which fed into vanity and distracted from God. This included books, mostly books, a whole lot of books. Anything secular was particularly targeted, including what are now considered absolute Renaissance classics, like the work of humanist Giovanni Boccaccio, as well as art, cosmetics, musical instruments, basically anything that might bring anyone any earthly joy. Up it went in the flames. Within a year, having pulled more stunts of this sort, the Mother Church figured Savonarola needed to be brought down. He was arrested and tortured to state that he was no miracle worker, and because this was his first conviction and the church showed Christian mercy, they merely sentenced him to be hanged and burned along with two comrades. Their ashes were thrown in the Arno River so no one could grab a relic. Seems like maybe if someone had been a little less vain, you get the idea. Moving along, the phrase Bonfire of the Vanities has become a metaphor in Western literature, best known for inspiring the title of a popular and critically acclaimed novel by Tom Wolfe. Wolfe's story was serialized first in Rolling Stone magazine in the 1980s. That's a throwback to how fiction was often published a century earlier, before it was published in novel form as a great success, critically and commercially, a bestseller in 1987. Hollywood made an absolutely miserable movie out of the book in 1990, widely panned as one of the worst movies of the year, in spite, if not actually because of, its all-star cast. The film lost nearly $30 million, thereby accidentally becoming a better representation of losing everything than anyone intended. As postmodern self-aware meta-art, that'd be pretty cool, but you rather have to doubt that that's what Brian De Palma and Hollywood were aiming at. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Today in Horrible History. Remember that after a brief visit, the rest of your day can only seem better in comparison.
Life is a nightmare. Man, and that's the way it seems. Life is a nightmare.